Members, first thing I want to say is that if you have listened to the past speakers, especially Senator Swazinski, I don't think you need any more credits in speaking for the democracy than what you just got with his speech. It was the best I've heard. For me, it's great to be alive, and it's great to be in the chamber today. I've missed many of you this session. I'm grateful for the ability to work and participate in the session from my home while I've been undergoing treatment for pancreatic cancer. It's been hard to be away from the chamber and not be able to interact with the members, staff, and visitors that I so often do in this building. That's not how I envisioned spending my final session, so it means a lot for me to be here today. When you first get elected and walk into this chamber, you're not thinking about what you'll say in a speech some 20 years later. Now, you are thinking of all the possibilities, all the things you've heard from constituents and the problems that you want to fix. How did I get here? I had no interest in running for office in the 2023 era. My travels around the world, witnessing how other countries were training their students to be their next workforce, convinced me to promote education opportunities at every possible way I could. I was not sure of the party I favored, but I did have very strong feelings about several issues I needed to pursue. Some good friends, including former Senator Deanna Weiner, twisted my arm until I dropped my support for former Representative Tim Pawlenty for governor, and that was over education issues, and agreed to run for the House. Pawlenty is still one of my favorite politicians, and being that he is my constituent, I do see him reasonably often. These friends wouldn't take no for an answer and convinced me to run in my all-red district in Eagan, for the House of Representatives, that is. Short and sweet, I lost that race, but I did get an excellent vote, earning me a request to run for the Senate seat in 2006, where I beat the incumbent. My first term was one major legislative education in the ins and outs of Minnesota politics. One of the things I learned was that sponsoring a bill to oppose copper mining in Minnesota when the majority leader was a ranger is a term-ending decision. But my belligerents and my supporters, including former Speaker Melissa Hortman, who counseled me because we ran at the same time, don't give up, Jim. It took me 3 times. Led me to come back and reclaim a seat in 2012. As many of you know, I practice as a registered professional mechanical engineer. I did not need to be registered for my work, except when used to confirm professional qualifications in depositions and in court. My major work was in product design, high-tech production machines, and engineering management. These responsibilities provided worldwide travel and high appreciation of worldwide cultures and business decision-making. The opportunity to retire and refocus came up in 2023. So I grabbed a severance and a pension and eventually stepped onto the merry-go-round of politics, where 20 years later I stand before you. A major focus of mine in the past years was safety on our roads. I led legislation to require child safety seats in cars and helped enhance penalties for distracted driving. My biggest accomplishment in this space was having championed our state law requiring hands-free cell phone use while driving. These laws have saved lots of lives on our roads and continue to be enforced rather vigorously. In 2021, I worked with a constituent, Ashley Youngdahl, to address a harrowing experience that her young son with severe disabilities suffered when a home nurse, a 24-hour requirement, was trusted with her son Declan's care, and he had been torturing him. At the time, Minnesota did not have a statutory definition of torture, and due to the nature of the abuse, there was little prosecutors could do to hold the perpetrator truly accountable. We worked hard that session with Judicial Committee Chair Senator Warren Limmer to establish the crime of child torture in law so that families like Ashley's would be able to seek justice. Since then, I had off-and-on communication with Ashley, and in her last email, she advised me that Declan had passed away. In elections, which I became the committee chair in this last year, it's been my honor to be the elections committee chair for these past 4 years, especially in this last year with Senator Bonnie Westland as the replacement for me while I was having cancer treatment. I'm so proud of the work that we have done to strengthen our democracy and ensure every voter in Minnesota can cast their ballot with confidence. I am proud of the historic work we've done, like the Minnesota Voting Rights Act, restore the vote for 50,000 Minnesotans who have served their time, automatic voter registration, the voter fund, protecting election workers and voters from intimidation, establishing pre-registration, and so much more. In my time here in the legislature, I've had two philosophies that I have always been on the tip of my mind. One of them is that politicians run for two reasons. One is to be somebody, and the other is to do something. And that kind of philosophy, I watch all of us that work together, and I say that the crown of the do something is my friend Scott Dibble. We have lots of nominations for that position, but Scott has been the person, the friend, who I recognize as an expert in so many areas, not for personal aggrandizement, because I've asked him to run for other positions, and he's always deferred. But Scott Dibble is I think, one of the kings in this body. The other philosophy is when everything has been said, and in many ways, many times, blessed are those who have nothing to say but cannot be convinced to say it. And with that, I'm going to end my discussion here, and hopefully I can say to you, good luck and goodbye. Thank you.